Okay, we've already talked about this somewhat. Just a few additional comments. Feeling okay, Judith?
Yeah, I just didn't want the apple chomping on me yet.
Oh, okay. All right. So the guy that did the analysis found the planetary alignment for this alignment tunes into the 21 December 12 Mayan event that finishes their template, but it begins the phase, for the last phase going into LP40. So obviously it was a whole lot more than just that. Oh, and he corresponds this with the moon and Jupiter on the 28th. Which is probably accurate and probably important, but not even that much more important than what we're doing. It has its place, but just. All right, so obviously these two represented the two stars coming in because they are working the Orion system, including our home star Rigel and the non-fallen star Sekhet. Now that's the key point. And we've discussed it before, but the Orion belt stars, the vault of Orion, or the nebula, Great Nebula, is all of this whole system with the Taurus, Pleiades, Central Sun, Alcyon, and the star Sirius, that whole matrix, and then added to it the Monoceros unicorn. That whole system then is keying in through the one star that's the most holy one that didn't fall. But in nonlinear time, we use it, of course, like we do Missouri-L. So that's this point. All right, now the two Sha'alura stars create a field that includes all of that matrix. I added the Alcyon star here because it's obviously part of this field, as we found out just a short while ago. And through the Alcyon, then that tracks back in the network, of course, to Missouri-L. The Templars knew about Missouri-L, and they designed that in the world grids. It's Mount St. Michael off France. And that's in a grid system, comes down from Roslin down to Mount St. Michael, does an L shift over to Paris, St. Sulpice Chapel, and then south to Rennes-le-Château. So this big thing is a double L system, time gate system spanning Europe. So the Mount St. Michael point keys into, that's the male pole, to the feminine system for all of Europe, are represented by the Marian cathedrals, of which Chartres is the queen of them all. So that system, the Templars knew about it. The Marian cathedrals set up the Virgo constellation, and then the Mount St. Michael keys into the star Denebola in Leo, and Denebola is holding the position of Missouri-L, because Missouri-L didn't fall, but we've needed a grid lock-on, and that's Denebola. So that is your correspondence. My point is that everybody has known about this Missouri-L situation since Hector was a pup. I mean, anybody that's using the grids with any kind of understanding. And the Templars were the last bunch, and the Masons, the inner core. Okay, a little bit of history. Okay, now back to this. So this field keys in, as I say, to this point That's our gateway. So I got that far, and all heaven broke loose. So you noticed. She's been riding me on that. Okay, anyway. So this keys in now into this Merkaba field, and apparently it's, since we have 5 points, this is also something called the platinum ray that handles the whatever is coming through from the divine side, mind, void, grace, or Satchitananda state. A plan apparently is devised here in mind as knowing. It then comes through the membrane in this streaming, and there is an interface system we've been calling the blossom, and there's a really a complex crop formation there, which we worked with last year. We have it, but we don't have time to look at it. But there's a system here that sorts out the streaming coming back from this side into the universe on this side. All right, so it looks like, and then apparently then, the Missouriel as is works with that. That's the way it's beginning to shape up. So I'm trying to figure out what this basic Sutrapman pattern is that we used yesterday. We had the cloud, we formed the flame Sutrapman. By the way, for angelic emphasis, the seraphim translates as the flame serpent. That's the angelic order. They create that format. The cherubim or cherubim, they hold the Eden gate. And they correlate with the Horeb, which is the fire. It's the brilliant white cleansing fire, the chor of the cherubim. So that they are gatekeepers also. And their sword goes in all directions. In other words, it creates a system, a Merkaba system, with the sword point and then the sword dynamics. And remember that the sword is not just not something you beat on people with. It's a creation tool. And it has elements of that. That's another lecture. So, I was registered for the angelic add-on. It might have some correspondence. You may be both orders. It occurs to me. Okay, anyway. So this signature we found has 4 steps in it that leads to a 5th that then opens to a divine gap where you find the 6th. And you can have a number of systems with 4 in, with a that then form in a synthesizing 5 that then all have a common 6th. So that is a dynamic that's working here. So the signature, the platinum ray, or platinum arc, or platinum Merkaba, or platinum anything, is what part of a it's a sacred element, metal, along with gold. The other metals are non-sacred. There's a difference in this metallology. So the platinum is represented here.
When you did the V and started putting the circles in, I got an energetic hit up my spine to the top of my head, and I was told I'm supposed to tell you.
Good. In fact, if anybody gets any phenomena, let me know, because we're in process with all this stuff. Thanks. Okay. Got it. It's also our Taurus horns and the Orion legs. Okay, all right. Okay, so over here. So we have the 4 and then the 5, and then that opens to the 6th, which is, it forms this whole thing. So this whole thing is a 6 platinum sacred system. The geometry of that is a whole lot more complicated, and I'm not going to get into it. The platinum system, as I say, spins around this egg-shaped thing. So we have a composite rim of a cup represented by this thing. And that forms a teleplane disc, or actually a ring with a hollow center. So you can create a teleplane. It's hollow, but it isn't hollow. It's a separate, it holds this area. That holds the platinum state of being and function. Okay, I don't want to get any more complex because I don't understand it. I've been trying to do the geometry of a sphere being tangent to this thing and creating a ring across there, and I get deeper and deeper into it, and it rattled my head. However, to simplify it a little bit, as I say, we have a cone shape, so whatever is going on with all of that, it focuses here in our single axis. So this axis collects information in a couplet of 4 facing up, 4 facing down. This becomes the 5th for those 4, and then that center there opens up into a 6th that also projects on out into this system here. Now that is a straight line, so that is called the horizon of Thoth in the grids. So all the codes and programs that are going to go into your system comes out through that central line, and that line expands to a plane, teleplane, and yada, yada, yada. And that creates the three-dimensional system like the Star Trek holodeck, in effect. So this is the overall thing, and then this L shift combines Venus and Earth. It happens to be Mars, that's the center point, for some reason not understood. Okay, so the Earth and Venus planets are actually one planet in the New Earth star. So this is combining the two with this particular system, which apparently we executed or turned on today.
Bill, I guess you need to know. Just energy, tears. I don't know, but you just need to know, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're on to
I don't need
something.
a process.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah.
starts going on. No process. I don't want a process.
Guaranteed, no process. But it's good to know.
Yeah. Woo.
Good. Turn off.